יהיו אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי לפניך. Adonai ma'on ata hayita lanu b'dor v'dor. God, you have been our refuge in every generation. Before the mountains, before you brought forth the earth and the world, you were God, and you return us to dust. You decree, in your sight 1,000 years are as yesterday when it is past as a watch in the night. You engulf us in sleep. We are like grass that renews itself. At daybreak it flourishes, and at dusk it withers and dries. The span of our life is 80 years, and 10 are given strength for score, but even then the best of those years include trouble and sorrow. They pass by speedily, and we are in darkness. Teach us, therefore, to number our days, to count each day precious, that we acquire a heart of wisdom. Amen. El Harachamanu, sweet God, you have taken a beloved one from among us. Death has taken Debra from us, and our friends grieve now in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation, in their tears loneliness. Lost in sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends and communities of shared meaning and purpose. Debra's love united them in life. Death cannot sever that. Her companionship shared along life's path continues now through the tenderness of memory. In this time of grief, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures that brings us the ever-increasing, ever-evolving message of God's nearness. Adonai mi yagur ba'ohalecha mi yishkon bahar kochecha. Adonai, who abides in your house? Who dwells in your holy place? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth in their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame on them, who honor those who revere God, who scorn the lawless, who give their word, and come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who never take bribes, those who live in this way, the way in which Debra lived. They shall never be shaken. Amen. We pledge as well with love these words of our tradition. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember her. In the blowing of wind and in this chill of winter, we will remember her. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring together, we will remember her. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember her. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember her. And so long as we live, then Debra shall live, a part of us always, as we remember her. Amen. Dear friends, the conclusion of our service today, I've been asked to inform you that the family will gather and receive friends for Shiva at the home of dear cousins Jim and Brooke Wolf, 2577 Cedarwood. No? Wrong address? All right. So would you share that with me? Thank you. Beginning at 3:30 today at Moxie's in Beechwood. It's on Richmond. The family invites you, if you wish to honor Debra's life with a gift of tzedakah, of some generosity, to do so with the Alzheimer's Association or to the charities of your choice. And of course, they invite you to continue to offer your loving gestures and condolences, your memories over the days and weeks to come. Contemporary Rabbi Chaim Stern wrote the following meditation, which I think is a most appropriate way to amplify the feelings in this unique moment on this cold winter day. He wrote, "The light of life is a finite flame. Like a candle, it burns and glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen, but the flames dance and our lives are full. Yet our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. But we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into darkness. With our lives, we give life, and so something of us can never die as we move in an eternal cycle of darkness and death, light and life." These words convey my prayer today for a precious human being who walked among us for too narrow a lifespan, Debra Adelstein Bell. I didn't have the blessing to get to know her during her lifetime, but I do hope that in the time that I've begun to spend with members of her family, I've absorbed some part of her essence. Just days ago, I sat with her beloved Sam, her sister Carol, and together we spoke about Debra in the fullness of warmth, light, and beauty by which she once lived. We spoke about how difficult today would be as we grieve near and far with siblings Joanne, Teddy, and his Layla, Penny, Stacy, and Carol, who remember in Debra a loyal and caring and loving presence growing up. Today brings to their heart the memory as well of their brother Louis, or Bubber as he was known in a nickname of endearment, who predeceased Debra. We send loving sympathies as well to nieces and nephews of Debra's, Adam, Isaac, Jillian, Phoebe and her Arthur, and to great-nephew Wolf. I hope that as the family unifies across miles and years of memories, Debra will be remembered today and always as someone who, when she was well and strong, tried to be a force for giving life to the people around her, to give others affirmation and to respond to their affection as well. Debra was born March 26th in 1952, the third oldest of the children of Dr. Nelson and Renee Adelstein. When she was born, the family lived in University Heights, but soon thereafter they moved to a home on Laureldale in Shaker Heights, just across the street from Fairmount Temple, where I serve as one of the rabbis, and where the children received religious education as part of their upbringing. Debra went to Shaker Heights schools through high school and continued to advance studies, including undergraduate years at Ohio State University and postgraduate work as well. She studied both communications and education. I'm told Debra always felt very close and endeared to her mother, Renee, a bond that in childhood included Debra always being dependable and caring help to support raising her younger siblings, a nurturing bond that never really stopped in her life. Carol told me that although the family had a fair amount of difficulty as the bonds between their parents deteriorated, Debra was someone you could look up to. She was, in her sister's words, a mensch, the Yiddish term for a person who strives for goodness and righteousness under all circumstances, public and private. More than 40 years ago, my late and lamented predecessor, Rabbi Arthur Lelyveld, wrote a letter of recommendation for Debra upon her request, which testified to the fact that the qualities by which she was known in her family were also seen by teachers and mentors who knew her at temple or at school as a child. Arthur wrote of Debra's diligence, conscientiousness, and her sense of fairness. He said she, even as a young person, had a great sensitivity to social problems, and a deep feeling for the supreme importance of justice. Debra was also a person who made friends easily and held on to those bonds tightly, showing others that she cared for them. When in her 30s she met and married Tim, she shortly thereafter began one of the most important discoveries of her adult life, that she could bring nurturing and dedicated and loving spirit to the role she yearned for, so to be a good mother for Sam, and she was. Sam grieves her deeply today. He remembers even as a young child the way that Debra doted on her own mom, Renee, setting that example, making their home a place for Renee to see and celebrate holidays, secular and Jewish. Sam remembers growing up in Orange with his mom at the sidelines of all of his various school endeavors, cheering him on whether playing baseball or hockey or football. He remembers his mom making of their home an accepting and affirming place for anyone who was hurting or needed attention and care. And the whole family surely remembers Debra's many interests, including music, such as her love of soul and R&B artists going back to Marvin Gaye or Al Green, to watching and discussing great movies, to a voracious interest in exercise, hiking, walking, aerobics, even on cold winter days such as this, when others might want to curl up on the couch. Debra could be found enjoying a walk outdoors. In a diverse array of workplaces ranging from teaching and later substituting in schools, from Maple Heights to Shaker to private schools, and in her work for Progressive, and later as admissions director at Menora Park, Debra was admired by others for her strong work ethic and her affable demeanor. Having said that, in both public and private settings, she was known as someone who, when things were not being done appropriately, she would call out those institutions with a sense of fairness, that they might give a proper level of attention. She was not afraid to take the heat for her point of view, having a strong moral code and a sense to her of what was wrong and what was right. As Carol told me with reverence, her sister was a fighter and fought for people who needed her care. In some ways, having such a fighting spirit might have made seeing the effects of dementia and early onset frailties of aging more difficult on her and others around her. As such, vulnerabilities sometimes strip away the easier qualities for others to be around. But even that this occurred, even with the most recent memories of Debra not being the most soothing and uplifting, today is a day for lifting up her most noble aspirations in this life. In respect for the life she led and the values she held, I encourage us all to be resilient enough against the difficulties of the harsh winds that blew against her, to go forward undeterred toward her most noble values. Debra sought to serve others. Debra wanted to give of her energies to the greater good. She strived and succeeded in earning a name of respect and decency. And all this is as true as any flaw or frailty that ever touched her life. Psalm 90, which I read near the beginning of the service, tells us of the time in which the Bible's composers may have lived. They expected at their very highest to live maybe 70 years. They told us that even the best of those years would include trouble and sorrow, relationships gained and others severed, hopes realized and others dashed. But then they admonished us to do what I'd like us all to do as we walk forward from this day. To count this day precious, each moment of it, that we acquire a heart of wisdom. May that be our blessing. And thus may the memory of Debra Adelstein Bell be a blessing to us all, today, tomorrow, always. Striving to do what is right and come what may, not letting our energies abate, not even once in this lifetime. Amen. Carol.
As all of you know, we have many children in our family, adults at this point. And my sister Joanne asked me to share a few words with you. My Schwester Debra, adorable, temperamental, stubborn, very capable, forceful, feisty, serious, smart, sensitive, more than anybody knows. Fierce mama bear, warrior, eyes lit up by Sam like no one else. Debra decided at a very early young age not to take a backseat to anyone. She could insinuate herself into any crowd and not be intimidated. She was very much part of the group. With her chubby cheeks and expressive eyes, she was truly adorable, as evidenced by the bowl haircut she was able to rock. Debra had a bold streak of social justice, strength, and self-determination from an early age, standing up on the playground for those who were not able to stand up for themselves. She had the strength in the past year. She would have led her own march if she had the strength in the last year. And I agree with that. She could be charming. She could be tough. She could be vexing. She could be the one you wanted in your corner. Of all the 7 children, Debbie most resembled our mother, Rochel, with her good looks and her fierce protective nature, and like our mother, with her fierce determination when it came to cleaning house, woe to anyone who got in her way. When I talked to nurses during the last year, they always commented on her intelligence and her sense of humor. This is the time we ask ourselves, what is this life? This is my eulogy to Debra. She declined in a quick and cruel fashion. She died on a warm spring-like day, a respite from our grueling weather. Like many of you here today, for many years, Debbie and I shared a close and loving bond. I feel this deeply, viscerally, like a double blow, loss of life, loss of an unfulfilled relationship. In her higher moments, Debbie was a pillar in our family. She represented a certain normalcy in all the chaos, a respite from the tumult and confusion. Teddy remembers Debbie organizing the other kids to play school, much like Joanne did. Of course, Debbie took charge as the strict teacher, a role that the other kids enjoyed, a role that she enjoyed into her adulthood. Stacy remembers Debbie as someone who was always there for her, no matter what. You knew Debbie had your back. She always included us in her life with her various friends, which were so important to her. And she had them in abundance. For all life ultimately proved to offer her, Debbie succeeded in her ultimate goal, to be a mother to Sam, whom she loved and cherished above all. Our hearts go out to him. He is so very young to meet all life's challenges without the love and guidance of his mother. Sam, I hope you can rely upon me in the years to come to do for you like your mom. And let us remember Debbie's openness and grandness in life, extending her heart and even her home at times to others, like Bubber, during their periods of illness, giving of herself completely, unselfishly. Shockingly, she was consumed so quickly, so young with disease. We feel helpless with so many unanswered questions. During her last weeks of life when I visited with her, while quickly slipping away, she was still able to connect with me on some level, letting me know that she was savoring the food and drink that I brought her, and able to recount individual family members, and always Sam. After a recent visit, only days ago, I told her I was leaving. She surprisingly said with some degree of conviction, with force and clarity, "I hate it when you leave." I can only hope that Debbie has found her own respite now and is laughing with our mom and Bubber, reading juicy books and eating yummy Mitchell's chocolates, which she loved, and above all, keeping a watchful eye on Sam. And yes, Debbie, I hate it too now that you had to leave us. May your soul rest in peace.
I invite you now to please rise. אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, חמצי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה. עם קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזכירים, נד נשמת דבורה ברוך-אל שהלכה לעולמה. בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים. בצרור יצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה. ונאמר Amen. God, full of compassion, eternal spirit in the universe, grant Debra rest now in your sheltering presence. Let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings. Let her soul be bound up in the bonds of everlasting life. God, you are her inheritance and she yours. May she rest always in peace. Amen. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn here and everywhere. Amen.